and I was walking out. There was a hawk, in a baby hawk, high in the tree, and this baby hawk was just calling in this call of despair for its mom, I think. I mean, I don't know. I'm just surmising what was happening with this sound, but it was a sound that I had not heard from a hawk before. It felt to me very like a sound of despair. And oh my gosh, did it touch me so deeply inside. And I think especially last week, a lot of people I knew had kids going off to college, and just this sense of love for our children. So for those of you who have children and grandchildren, um, I think we all know the feeling that we can handle our own pain better than we can handle the pain of our children, and that seeing your child suffering is one of the greatest challenges I have experienced, and I'm sure I'm not alone in that. And if you don't have children, that feeling can come from watching anyone you love suffer. So I think it's sometimes it's easier to suffer ourselves and to hold burdens ourselves than it is to carry the burden of someone we love. So how do we work with this? How do we hold the suffering of the world, whether it's the people closest to us or people in Pakistan who have lost their homes and are struggling with all the floods. Resiliency is such an important skill to develop as humans. We're all traumatized, right? We can't kind of move through life without trauma. And learning how to be resilient is one of the greatest gifts, not only that we can give to ourselves, but that we can give to all the people that we love. When we can be steadfast and steady and be that ballast for another person who is wavering, it really is truly a gift. And it's not even that we need to do anything much. I mean, sometimes we have to do things, but sometimes just our presence, our steady presence, is enough. And so, how can our yoga practice help us to develop this steadiness? And I talk about steadiness all the time, and there's so much about it in the sutras. To have a steady mind, to have a steady body, and our yoga practice is very much geared toward cultivating this, so that when the winds come, we are grounded enough to be able to withstand. So think about for health ways, what puts starch in your spine. I heard that expression yesterday. Isn't that great? You're able to ground yourself and be there for self and others. So close your eyes and think about that for a moment. How does your yoga practice support this aspect of your well-being? What helps you to feel resilient and strong? And hopefully, one of the things that helps you feel resilient and strong is your yoga practice. So let's let the magic of our practice come into us. See if you can feel into the breath, the beauty of this moment. The breath is here and now, and nowhere else but here and now. Start to steady your breathing, feeling into the exhales, letting them lengthen. Feel a sense of ease across your face and your shoulders. letting any tension that creeps in start to dissipate. Ready to place your palms together at your heart. Offer an intention. How can your practice help you building resiliency or whatever it else that you need today? And release the hands, and let's find our way onto our mat. All right. So as you come down onto your mat, first just have a moment to kind of salute to the self, having a sense of here I am now, and I'm carving out this time to take care of yourself. So we can't be there for others unless we tend to our own well-being first. So your practice is a gift to self and others. Let's stretch, move, and lengthen your body. Just let things open up and wake up. Maybe move your hips offline so one climbs higher and one drops lower from the shoulder. Just feel a sense of reaching your arm one overhead and then the other overhead. And then pause in cactus arms for a moment, back of hands on the ground, goalposts with your arms. Just have a moment to experience the gentle open chest. Bring yourself into your breath here. Maybe lift your shoulders up a bit and drop the shoulder blades down the back so the breath has an opportunity. Have you had a moment yet today where you've contemplated and gave attention to the open heart? All right, stretch your arms and legs. Ooh, you're finding a yawn if you want to. Go ahead and bring your knees into your chest. And feel free to rock a little bit, swaying from side to side. All right, let's circle the knees, going in one direction. Circling the knees in another direction. And let's open the knees up and feel the hips start to warm and loosen. Okay, so we're bringing the knees away from each other and then swinging them back in toward each other. Just kind of take the trajectory of movement in your hip joint. And then find a little bit of a happy baby. This can be a big pose in the beginning, so be very gentle if you need to. Don't pull down on your feet super hard if your back is feeling extra tender. And feel free to rock a little bit, moving from side to side. How is the breath? And relax your legs. Put your feet onto the ground, hip width apart or wider. Bring your arms back to those goalposts or just straight out. And let's windshield wiper our knees left and right. And just, we start gentle purposefully to get to know the body, to befriend the body, to know that your practice is more about self-care and self-nourishment and self-acceptance than it is about any pushing or straining. There's a time and a place for everything. Beginning of our practice is really about just welcoming all the parts of us back into awareness and connection. All right foot on left knee, reverse pigeon pose. Just come into a little stretch of your hip here. If this is too much of a stretch, you can also cross your right thigh over your left thigh and bring your knees to your chest. So whichever kind of waking up feels best for your hip, your glutes, your piriformis. For those of you who were looking at the anatomy app with me yesterday,
We can kind of feel into some of those muscles that we were looking at. And then stretch your limbs wide out. Spread your arms and legs, wiggle your fingers and your toes. Bring your knees into your chest, chin up. And then the head comes down, right foot on the ground, left foot on right knee or left thigh crossed over right thigh and come into a hip stretch here. Feel free to move. You do not have to be still. Sometimes in the beginning of our practice, gentle flowing movements is a nice way to warm up the tissues of our body rather than a static hold. Pause the breath, melt the shoulders, the head. And then stretch your limbs out one more time, reaching into a star shape on the ground. And while you're out here, let's roll our wrists and roll our ankles each direction a couple, 3 times. And then feel free to open and close your fists and wiggle your toes or flex and point, whatever wakes up those edges. And then knees into the chest. Give yourself a hug. All right, one more time, out to a star. This time, instead of focusing on wiggling the edges of our body, we're going to squeeze anything we can have access to. So feel a squeeze and then a release. And then a squeeze and then a release. Try not to hold the breath. Just let that pendiculation happen where we're engaging any muscle you have access to and then releasing those muscles. One last time, a big squeeze and then a release. Bring your feet onto the floor. Rest one more time in constructive rest position. That's just simply feet on the ground, knees bent. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, squeeze into a tight little ball. Squeeze every muscle you can find, including your face, and then relax your body down. Roll over onto your side and come up onto your hands and your knees. Okay. All right, let's start moving the spine. So some cat-cows, nourish your spine. Take the position that feels comfortable so you don't have to go deeper than your body wants to. And try to let go of goals or expectations or judgments about your practice, your mind, your body, anything. Try to just be in the breath and body and enjoy. So this is part of resiliency, is learning to just embody. No matter what we find, to learn how to embody so that we don't feel the need to run away when we find something we don't like. And so that we don't feel the need to attach when we just find something we like. All right, so swirl around in any movement pattern that feels really nice in the body. So even though we're not attaching to things we like, it's good to feel pleasure in the body. Why else would you stick with your yoga practice if it didn't feel good at times, right? So enjoy. Okay, and then drop back down into child's pose. Walk the hands out in front of you. Stretch your shoulders. Deep breaths in. Deep breaths away. Relax the base of your skull. Soften through your spine. Walk the hands over to one side. See what it feels like to stretch open through your rib cage here. Enjoy the breath. Love the base of the skull. All right, walk your hands over to the other side. Relax the base of the skull again. Feel the breath touch into the ribs. Drop some weight into the hips. All right, and relax and come back to center. Come back up onto all fours, finding breath. Let's find a twist here. Open up the chest, reach your arm high, exhale and slide that shoulder down. So only go as far as your body says to go. Keep your neck as soft and relaxed as possible. Breathing well. All right, and then go ahead and square up the shoulders toward the floor, collarbones broad, hips back towards child's pose. And then inhale and reach that arm all the way back up. Hand down onto the ground. Change sides, lifting the arm. Exhale, slide the arm underneath, gaze toward the ground. Breathing well. Feel the rib cage expand. Melt into the base of the skull. Keep relaxing the head. When you're ready, slide out of there a bit. Chest faces the floor. Drop back towards child's pose. The arm is still underneath you a bit, so stretching the outside of the shoulder. Keep the neck soft. And then inhale and reach that arm to the sky. Hand down and come to find dog pose. So we progress through sensations of the body, slowly waking every part of us up. So let's feel into some movement here. Maybe you want to pedal your feet. Maybe you want to bounce or sway. Just let the body open and enjoy the sensation of stretch. Enjoy the sensation of yield. Find your breath over and over again. It's part of becoming resilient. We learn how to be present, stay. Keep the neck soft and easy. Find the breath. Heart lifting to the pelvis. And walk your feet forward. Come into Uttanasana. Let the head melt and relax. Spread open the bones of the feet, the knees soften. Lift the sit bones. See if you can let the hamstring stretch without even straightening your legs, just by tipping the pelvis. So the pubic bone passes through the inner thighs, the sit bones lift, the neck is surrendering. Halfway lift, the spine gets longer. Straighten your legs a bit, stretch the backs of the knees. And exhale and melt to fold again. Sit bones come high, let the neck soften, let the spine be a waterfall. Gravity is letting the spine loosen. Notice where your weight is in your feet. Are you an outer foot kind of person? Are you an inner foot kind of person? You tend to bear weight in the toes or the heels. Pay attention to your habits. Halfway lift again. Breathe out and relax. Drop your sit bones and rise up. Now, one of the ways that we can get resilient is by having good vagal tone in our body, vagus nerve. If you get dizzy when you come up, and you have that little bit of orthostatic hypotension that happens, this is a sign that your vagus nerve could have a little bit more resiliency in it. So if that happens, remember to do that midline squeeze to kind of put a little extra pressure on your vessels to help raise your blood pressure. Lift your arms up to the sky. Lean back a little bit if it feels good to do so. Let's square up the shoulders, elbows bent, and then round in. Let's take that one more time. Inhale, arms up, big breath, cactus arms, squeeze the back body, feel it, and then round forward, chin tucks. Relax your hands down, shake out your hands, then take a deep breath in, spread out your wings again, press your palms toward the wall, the hot balls on the sides of you, open up all the pathways of nerves in your hands, keep your neck relaxed, and then release your hands down, give them a shake. Interlace your hands behind your back, open the chest, bend your knees, and relax your skull. Arms release away from spine. Big breaths here. And then relax your arms down. Halfway lift again. Exhale and melt, relax your skull. Step your left foot back, right foot forward, lunging. Finding the breath, so enjoy. Now we get to move into our legs in a different way. Let's bend and straighten the front knee. Find the rhythm of your breathing. Enjoy all the little nooks and crannies that we're opening up in the body, becoming familiar with, touching with our awareness. All right, steady yourself into a lunge here. Ground your legs, rise up, crescent lunge. Reaching the arms up, look up if you want or not. Arms can be anywhere, eyes can be anywhere. A little bit of a back bend if it feels nice for your body. And then exhale and release your hands down. Step your back foot forward. Hold here, neck is soft. Halfway lift, spine grows. Exhale and melt again. Step your other foot back. Left foot is now forward, lunging, breathing. Let's start to move when you're ready. Straightening the front leg, chin tucks, bending the front knee, chest rises. Find your breath. All right, let's go ahead and find a lunge. Ground yourself. Rise up when you're ready. Coming into crescent lunge. Maybe a back bend in the upper thoracic spine feels nice. Maybe a nice opening in the hip flexors feels good. Maybe you need to be a little more protective and your back knee bends or your arms come into a different position. So find what's available in your body right here, right now. Discover the breath again. Feel your yielding, give to the earth. And the hands come down. Hands on the ground, back front foot comes back, dog pose. Explore the spine again. Maybe you want to pedal your feet again to see what's different here second time around. Experience the sense of yielding. Give yourself to the earth. Find your breath. Steady the mind. So see if you can keep the mind in the body, in the breath, in the presence of your postures. Come forward into a plank. Hold yourself with integrity. Try not to hunker the chest up. So let the sternum kind of come down toward the ground. Collarbones widen. And then stabilize with your back body, with your core, with your legs. All right, knees come down. Find the ground. Roll the shoulders a couple of times. Just feel into that waking of the back body. Lift up to cobra pose, big chest. Exhale and melt to come down. If you have a different back bend that you prefer, take that. Rising up again. Exhale, melting down again. Roll over onto your right side. Bend your knees a bit, grab the top of your left ankle and stretch your left knee away. Just opening up your quadriceps a little bit more. Deep breaths here. Tailbone descends toward the back edge of your mat. Pubic bone lifts toward the belly button, so we're stable in our core. And then release and relax that. Roll onto your belly and come to the other side. Bend your knees, grab the top of your right ankle, stretch the knee away from the chest. Relax your head, stay in the breathing body. So we're trying to just touch into all the different places within us. Kind of give a gentle reminder that this part of us is part of the fold, part of ourselves. When we loosen all the soft tissue fibers of the body, this is good. This makes us feel good. So just notice, come up onto all fours. Stretch the spine about. Right leg comes back behind you, left arm straight out in front of you.
Start to feel some work now. We're moving into some stabilization. Keep the neck soft, relax the jaw, breathing deeply. As you exhale, go ahead and bring the elbow and knee underneath. Inhale, bring it out long. Exhale, out to the side, toes down, thumb up, leg and arm are out to the side. Integrate your core. On your next inhale, stretch it out long. Exhale, elbow and knee come to touch. Inhale, bring it out. One more time, out to the sides, arm and leg, toes down, thumb up. Integrate the core, keep the neck soft. Back to center. Place the hand and knee down onto the ground. Move your spine about. Take weight through your hands. Maybe shake out your hands. Okay, second side. Left leg sticks out straight behind you. Engage your glutes. Right arm out in front of you. Thumb up. Press your shin and your hand into the ground. Integrate into your core. Find your breathing. On your exhale, elbow and knee come underneath you. Inhale to bring it out. Exhale out to the sides, toes down, thumb up. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, elbow and knee touch underneath. Inhale, bring it long. Exhale out to the sides. Back to center, hand and knee down, child's pose. Relax the base of your skull. Shake out your wrists or hands. Rock to fro, side side. When you're ready, come up to dog pose. Long spine, resiliency in the body, steadiness in the mind. Be here now. Find the breath. Let's walk our feet forward. Come into Uttanasana. Halfway lift. Melt again. Chair pose. If you like a block between your thighs, put a block between your thighs. Inhale and rise on up. Weight is in the heels. Try to feel that it's about your core, it's about your psoas, it's about your glutes and your hamstrings. All of your muscles are working in unison to support you. Find the breath. And let's cactus open the arms here. Feel an open chest, a little teeny thoracic back bend. And then come up onto tippy toes. Find your breath, find your balance. Focus on something that doesn't move. And then place the heels down onto the ground. Everybody grab a block and stick it between your thighs and come to the front of your mat. So if we're finding what gives us a steadiness in the midline of the body, let's feel that the block can help support that sense of that our core extends into our legs. Okay. Take a deep breath, rising up. Exhale, bend your knees, float forward. Halfway lift, spine grows again, thigh bones back, gentle hug of that block. Exhale and fold. Step back to a plank pose. So you have to just waddle your feet back and find that sense of integrity again. So if the block was going to go somewhere, it would go up in the sky instead of down toward the ground. Find the sense of sturdiness through your whole center line, sternum to heels. All right, back to dog pose. Stretch through your spine here. Same block would roll out behind you if it was going to go anywhere. Stretch open the legs, thigh bones back. Find that sense of yielding. Walk your feet forward again. Uttanasana. And then let's find chair pose again. Block between the thighs, even if you didn't use the block last time. Squat down. Take your hands, the heel of your hands, and press on your thighs. Drop some weight right at the root of your thighs, get some press in there, and then release the arms and keep that groundedness in the legs. Full breaths here. Standing all the way on up. Let's take the block out of there. Okay. Find Tadasana. So just notice, how do you feel? Now, once you've been moving in your body a bit, do you have that state of steadiness? Do you have a state of groundedness? And even if there's, the turbulent waters in the heart or in the mind or in the body, can you use your practice and your breath to steady the mind and body? How do you develop a little starch in your spine so that you are still fluid? There's not a sense of rigidity, but just a sense of steadiness, sturdiness, that someone could move into you and you would flow with that movement and come right back to your stance. All right, take the legs wide apart on the mat. Spread your arms straight out. Now, a lot of times when we do a posture like this, we can get rigid in our limbs. So how do you have strength, hugging muscles to bones, but still have a sense of fluidity, that your steadiness is balanced by a sense of softness, fluidity? Okay, turn your right foot out, find your breath, and come into Virabhadrasana 2. Now remember, you can do anything you want with your arms. You don't have to have them out to the side. So play with the dance of your breath and know where you're best suited to find this balance point of feeling very grounded and steady and sturdy, but also not stuck, that you are not rigid, that you're not concrete. Okay, gaze out over your fingertips, soften your skin, melt the neck, soften your face, feel the grounding in your legs, the work of the legs, the fullness of the work of your legs without a sense of getting stuck. Okay, reach the arm up high, reverse that warrior pose and find the stretch in the side body, and then turn this into a side angle stretch, opening up through your whole side. Enjoy. There's something good to be found, a little nugget in every pose you do. So find the gold. Breathing well. The neck is soft. Where is the balance point of your steadiness and ease here? Are you bearing weight evenly in both legs? Rise back up. Find your breath. Pause for a moment. Straight legs tip to the side. If you like to use a block for triangle pose, great. Feel the stretch of your hamstrings. Open up through the rib cage. The chest is broad and big. Even weight through your feet. So make sure that back leg has some roots. Up again, reverse your triangle pose. Feel the side body open and then turn back to center. All right, so find your breath. Pause here in this wide star stance. Feel the balance of stretching and lengthening into your edges, feeling your strength, but also have some play. So there's no lockout in your joint spaces. The muscles can hug to the bone without a sense that you lose your mobility. Okay, let's turn your foot to the left. I'm going to use a block in front of my shin since my knee is hurting me a little bit today. So you can always stabilize your legs in various ways if you need it. Virabhadrasana 2, round into your legs. Feel a sense of ease come into your body somewhere. Start maybe with your crown. Imagine a waterfall so that there's a sense that each joint space has a little play in it, a little give in it, that nothing's locked out or stringent. Breathe well. Be here now. Ground yourself. Steadiness. So when you feel like running away, whether it's in a conversation or from your own suffering, watching, witnessing someone else's, learn how to stay. Learn how to stay. Train your mind, train your body to stay. Okay, rise up into a reverse. Feel your breath. Feel free to straighten your leg for a moment if you need a little rest, and then find your way into Parsvakonasana. Ground your feet. Let the neck be as neutral and soft as you can find it. There's softness in your joint spaces. There's yielding. Give these qualities into the body so that your steadiness has softness embedded within it. That we can be stout in our heart and melting in our heart right at the same time. Breathing well, shoulders soft. You're ready. Come out of the pose, straighten your leg, find your way into triangle pose, tip the pelvis now to the side, let your femur bone root up into the hip joint at the same time as grounding your big toe mound. Both heels root. The spine is spacious. The neck is soft. Breathing well. Full deep inhales. Complete exhales. Come back up. Reverse your triangle pose. Enjoy a side stretch. Open up the breath. And find your way back to a wide-legged stance. Turn your toes slightly out this time, and we're going to come into a goddess posture. So remember this pose, especially if you struggle with your hips at all, be high. You don't have to be super low in this posture, especially if a knee or a hip is talking to you. Go to a place where you feel a sense of grounding and steadiness that you can support the body with, that you don't have to feel like your joints are going to give way. Big open chest. Put your hands, interlace them, and just let them kind of rest down near your pelvic bowl. Feel this low center of gravity. Ground through your feet. You have an open heart, an open belly, a low center of gravity, deep support of the legs. All right, and then straighten your knees. Go ahead and turn the feet forward and rest now in as a wide-legged forward fold. So when you come into this posture, you can have your arms out in front of you like dog pose arms. You can have your hands on the same line as your feet. Your head can come way low or not so way low. You can support your head. So just do the posture that feels best. Big breaths here, wide legs. Find your breath traveling through your diaphragm, your belly, your pelvis. Try to free things up to receive. Let the inversion start to do a little bit of magic. All right, heel toe your feet back in. And then bend your knees, Uttanasana, fold, let your hips shake, let your knees soften, let your head bob. And then find your way on up. Ground into your right foot. We're going to come into tree pose. So you can turn your toes out, or you can put your foot on your shin, or you can put your foot all the way up high. You can still have your toes on the floor. So You can hold on to something, you can be in space. So find the way that this pose feels most steady for you. And same, once you have your legs organized, put your arms wherever you want them, palms together, arms up in the air. You can take your arms wider. So just find the posture that supports your ability to be steady in the mind, steady in the breath. Even if your body is wobbly, steadiness in the mind. Lift through your spine, soften your knee. Release and relax. 2 feet onto the ground. Feel free to get rid of that pose out of your body, shake it out. Okay. Then pause with 2 feet and ground yourself. Close your eyes. Practice beautiful breathing, soft diaphragm breath, melty knees, feeling the earth without collapse. So there's yield, not collapse. What would happen if you gave yourself this kind of energy next time that you had to hold suffering for another person, when you were in presence, being present for and with someone, self or other, who's struggling? Can you access this feeling in the body that you can learn how to be comfortable in groundedness and steadiness with your breath? And at the same time, be able to receive what you're receiving from your own heart or someone else's. Ground through your left foot, bring your right foot up. So find wherever you're going to land in this posture. Remember, your arms can be anywhere that serves. Bring your breath into the pose. Relax your neck. Feel the ground with your foot. Make sure your knee you're standing on is a little melty. There's a little micro bend. Find the core supporting you. Your glutes can support you. Your leg muscles can hug to the bone. Breathing well. Be here now. Focus your gaze softly. Keep the heart open. Relax and melt your foot back down. Pause here for a moment. Finding your Tadasana one more time. So this pose, often we think of it as just a pit stop before the next thing, right? But let's really experience the joy of the mountain, the steadiness of the mountain. Soft eyes, jaw, tongue, ears, the ways we perceive, let them be soft and receptive. Your skin. Let the sense of proprioception in your body be receptive. Know where you are in space. Feel that the breath is moving through you. Nothing's stuck. Open up your heart. Let's try one more balance pose. Drop weight into the right foot. We're going to cross the left foot over and come into figure 4 pose. Drop into that one-legged chair. Arms can be up, arms can be out, arms can be back, arms can be palms at your heart. Feel your wobbles, steady the mind. Wobbly body can happen with a steady mind. Wide sit bones, find the breath, spread out your hands and feet. Tip the pelvis a little anterior tilt, think chair pose. Find your core. And then rise up, bring that knee up. Foot down onto the ground and pause. One more time, Tadasana. Ground yourself. Long exhales, invite the response of the nervous system to help you find ease. Invite that with a long exhale. All right, standing on your left foot. Right foot crosses over, figure four, squat into a one-legged chair. Notice if your hips want to do weird things, try to keep the hip from hiking up or out. Keep a neutral pelvis. Let your body, if it's wobbly, be okay with the wobbles. If you need to stick your butt against a wall for support, do that. Breathing well. Relax your neck. Long, steady exhales. Find the nourishment of your nervous system within challenge. Yep. Foot down onto the ground. Last Tadasana here. Feel free to shake the clothes off. Okay. Find the steady stance. A long, steady exhale. Relax your jaw. I'm just going to do a moment of a bee buzzing breath, Brahmani. So close off the ear a little bit. You can those flaps in front of your ears. Let them seal off your ears for a moment. And then start to hum. Find the tone that feels right to you. This is a great stimulation for your vagus nerve. All right, and then when you're ready, be done with that. Find the breath. Inhale, rise up, big breath. Exhale, float forward, relax your neck. Halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Step back to your last dog pose. Lengthen through the spine. Feel the grounding. Yield into 4 points. Big, beautiful inhales, long, steady exhales. Recruit the nervous system to support your well-being with long exhale. Come forward into a plank. Stabilize yourself. Down to the ground. Any variation of a back bend that feels good in your body. Relax here. Put your hands underneath your forehead. Find yourself grounding your whole front body. Feel free to pick up your feet and rock your feet left and right if that feels good for your back. You'll mostly just feel yourself ground. Come on up. Take your time getting there. Child's pose when you're ready. You can be on all fours for a moment if you prefer. All right, let's find our way onto our back. Let's set the sacrum with a block under it. So a bridge pose, block on the lowest height, block on the middle height, or block 2 blocks underneath your pelvis for the higher height. So try not to have a block on the skinny height. Okay, so if you want to go high, 2 blocks under the pelvis. Pause here for a moment with some beautiful open breathing.
Lower yourself down onto the low edge of the block. And you might need to adjust where it is a little bit. Bring your knees to your chest, a little bit of traction for the spine. And then bring your legs straight up in the air. Imagine sand in a sand timer just draining down your legs. Release the legs. You could be in there all day if you want to. You can always ignore me if you want to stay longer in things. Knees to the chest if you're ready. Feel free to rock. All right, and then let's complete your physical practice. And we're going to sit up for just a moment's meditation. So first, just come into a happy baby or a little twisting or whatever it is that you need to feel at ease in the body. Take your time to just let your body find its way. And then when you're ready, come up to sit. And you can sit on a block in Virasana. You can sit in cross-legged position, whatever feels good. Have some support. We'll be here for just a couple of minutes. All right, so make sure your body is as comfortable. This sense of Sthira Sukha Asanam, the steadiness and ease in your posture. We're going to curtail a Tonglen meditation. We're going to shrink it up just a little bit. I think all of you have done a Tonglen with me before. We're going to first just send some love and compassion to ourselves. Remember the old adage of, put the oxygen mask on yourself before others. This is true. This is a truth that if we don't care for ourselves, we cannot care for others well. So let's start with breathing in anything that you are struggling with, any acknowledgement or awareness. Find a state of presence of breathing in and being present for whatever the struggle is. And as you exhale, open your heart and offer yourself loving compassion, loving kindness, sense of non-judgmental, unconditional love for self. Normally, when we do a full Tonglen, we start with self and then we move to someone we love, and then we move to an acquaintance, and then we move to someone we're struggling with, and then we move to our community and we expand out to the world, and then back to the self. But for today, we're just going to simply now transition from self to another. And your other can be someone very specific that you would like to offer your support to, or it can be a group of people somewhere on the planet or the whole earth. Just choose one entity to offer yourself to. So on the in-breath, we're taking in the suffering, stoutness, steadiness. Be present for, witness the suffering of another without flinching or turning away. And on your exhales, offer your heart to the open, compassionate heart. A
deep sense of loving kindness. This prayer does not mean controlling outcomes or controlling what you want the other person or people to feel. It's just a pure compassion, loving kindness with no strings attached, no outcomes necessary. Breathing in the awareness and witnessing of pain. And breathing out your loving kindness. Let's return back to the awareness of self in your body, your breath. Let the waterfall from the crown of your head pass through you and ground you. And then find your way onto your back for Shavasana. If the body needs any stretch or movement, take it. If you need any support, take it. And as you find yourself lying down, come into the deep grounding that the earth provides. Now you get to give yourself over to the earth. Be supported. Feel supported. Drop your limbs, especially your head. Melt through your face. Unwind the breath and let it be free. As you're ready. Yourself. Let any tension or residual just pass right through you. Awaken to the rest of your day now. So a big stretch maybe to re-engage your nervous system. Maybe knees. Sit. Hands together at your heart. Just know that when you hear the call of despair from your own heart, you have the capacity to be here, present, open. Let's offer our practice outward one more time. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. Blessings on your day.